As always, we're going to talk about some really bizarre cases that'll give you chills. But before we get started, welcome to True Crime with Maneater. If you love all things true crime, including missing person cases, cold cases, and just the strange happenings of the world, you've come to the right place. Be sure to subscribe and turn on alerts so you never miss a video upload. Let's get started. Back in 2005, in the affluent town of Cape Elizabeth, Maine, a community would experience something completely unnerving. People that left their doors unlocked would awake to find a strange man staring at them. Before they could even react or get their senses about them, the man would flee. He would leave the house just as it was when he entered. Nothing was stolen, nobody was injured. He just stood there, staring at sleeping people. A rough sketch of the person was displayed on the evening news, and it appeared to be a young man in his 20s. Of course, everybody thought they knew who the perpetrator was. And although there were quite a few phone calls and leads, the Cape intruder was never actually caught. After the initial break-ins, the intruder just quit breaking into people's house and watching them sleep, and his identity today is still not known. In 2004, 24-year-old Aiden Bray was living in Washington. He had recently developed an interest in lava lamps. And for those of you who've never seen a lava lamp, it's literally a lamp and you plug it in, and once it heats up, hot wax just starts to move around and kind of form into cool shapes. It's important to note that it can take a few hours for the lava lamp to heat up and start moving around, but Aiden Bray had become impatient waiting for his lava lamp to heat up, so he had an idea. He was going to put the lava lamp on the stove and heat it up quicker. Obviously, while the lamp was on the stovetop, the water inside was getting hotter and hotter with each passing second. Some of the water was becoming water vapor at the top of the bottle, and as the water vapor became more dense, the pressure inside the bottle was increasing. And, of course, the lava lamp is sealed. And when plugged in to an outlet, the water does get really hot, but it doesn't reach a boiling temperature. What Aiden Bray hadn't realized is he was producing pretty much a mini bomb. When the glass did finally explode, it flew toward him with the power of a small cannon. The shards hit him in the head and the heart, and the wax covered him in a gooey substance. His family was devastated at the loss of their 24-year-old son. This next case leaves me with so many unanswered questions. Oscar Barbosa, an 18-year-old fisherman living in South America, is believed to have committed suicide by jumping into piranha-infested waters. It's reported that he was drunk and in his canoe when he just jumped into the water and was attacked by the piranhas. He would suffer dozens and dozens of bites and eventually bled to death. Of course, this was ruled a suicide, and what's so confusing about this case is the fact that Oscar knew the river well, and he knew there were piranhas in there, so it does in fact look like maybe it was a suicide. But if he was drunk, maybe he had a lapse in judgment for just a minute and jumped in the water wanting to cool off. And although piranha attacks are rare, beachgoers in Brazil were actually attacked by hundreds and hundreds of piranhas during that September. Obviously, piranhas are known for their razor-sharp teeth that can really cut into anything. Piranhas are actually pretty small and don't grow larger than 33 centimeters. And research suggests that they travel in large groups because of how small they are. But they really do shy away from humans. They are known to eat smaller animals than themselves, although there are reports that piranhas have eaten animals as large as a horse. So what was this 18-year-old experienced fisher thinking that day? Had he been drunk and just jumped in the water without thinking? Had he wanted to commit suicide? I don't know. This last case is so jarring and so graphic that I want to remind viewers to proceed with caution. A Hampshire man known as David was really upset about unfair treatment at the hands of his housing association. The flats that David had been living in were actually supposed to be torn down, and David had actually approved of this idea in the beginning. But then he changed his mind and spent 2 years fighting for his home. All the other residents actually chose to move out, where they were placed in better homes and better living conditions. So the property was actually vacant, except for David. He himself had made many complaints about the condition of the flat. When the redevelopment team finally got permission to demolish and rebuild homes, David took this to heart. It's important to note that David had some mental health issues and mobility issues. He also had epilepsy, and that could be why he was determined to stay in his flat. Just 2 weeks after the company had gained a court possession order, the body of David would be found in his home. Police had been called to his home because his elderly parents called and wanted them to do a welfare check on their son David. His parents actually made routinely visits to see their son, but they hadn't been getting any answers. So police went over and broke down the door, and what they found was unbelievable, to say the least. During his last week alive, he would make a contraption that he attached his chainsaw to, and then he would commit suicide by cutting off his own head. Police believe he was trying to make a statement about his unfair treatment. To me, that's completely horrifying. The fact that he went to such great lengths to kill himself in such a violent manner. It makes me feel like more should have been done for his mental health issues. He's clearly suffering and struggling with this impending move, and it was affecting him deeply. And although police believe they did everything they could to help him, and the company who was remodeling did everything they could to help him, he still committed suicide. That's it for today, guys. If you like this video or any other videos on my channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on alerts so you never miss a video upload. See you next time.